ladies and gentlemen, before we get into our next panel discussion, which will put the spotlight on unlocking innovation, the changing face of men's innerwear market, I'd like to thank our partners and sponsors. Our title sponsor, Tencel, powered by Creora. Gold sponsors Auralan, Kotak Overseas, Sri Balaji Hosiery Mills. Our trend partner is Kalin, logistics partner is Save Express, and knowledge partner is Wazir Advisors. Our supporting ministry is One District, One Product, MSME, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. We are grateful to our media partners, Inner Secrets, Inner Fashion, Inside Fashion, Hosiery Times, Textile Value Chain and Fashion Value Chain. Our supporting associations, IAAI, Intimate Apparel Association of India, FOMA, WHTA, Wholesale Hosiery Traders Association, CITI, that's the Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, PDHR and HJRGA, Jharkhand Ready-Made Garment Association, and KIDA, that's Kerala Innerwear Dealers Association, and Takira from Chandigarh. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to introduce our next panel, and the theme is Unlocking Innovation, the Changing Face of the Men's Innerwear Market. Mr. Parveen Sharma is Senior Vice President, John Players. With over 25 years of experience in the fashion and retail industry, Parveen is currently leading the offline sales and operations for Purple Panda Fashions Limited, that's Clovia and John Players Innerwear, since 2023. He holds full responsibility for profit and loss, overseeing category planning, product launches and multi-format market entry, significantly enhancing the company's operational efficiency and market presence. Prior to this, he was Vice President at Spike Up, Business Head of Undercolors at Benetton India, and played key roles at Stallion Fashion, Gokuldas Intimate Wear, Page Industries, Groversons and Maxwell Industries. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Mr. Parveen Sharma. Welcome, sir. Mr. Sulay Lavsi is founder of Bummer, a D2C underwear and loungewear brand. He and his team at Bummer have raised 3 rounds of funding for Bummer from top VCs, angel investors, as well as being featured on and funded by Shark Tank. Beginning his professional journey in 2015 at Infibeam.com, he was part of a 3-person team that helped build out Infibeam's fashion portal. He spent the next 2 years at a factory learning tailoring, and then 2 years in the US where he realized his true passion for building and creating products with impact. Sulay moved back to India in early 2019 and founded Bummer in 2020. Today, Bummer has sold over 500,000 pairs of underwear in 4 years via the D2C and marketplace channels. In 2023, Sulay was also featured on the Forbes 30 U30, that's 30 under 30 Asia list, under the retail and e-commerce category. A warm welcome to Mr. Sulay Lavsi. Please also welcome Mr. Sanit Jain, who is Chief Operating Officer at Neva. He is a business strategist, operations leader, and growth enabler with over 17 years of experience in business growth, operations management, leadership development, strategic thinking, and transformational leadership. His journey includes 13 years at Trident Limited and over 4 years at Neva Garments, where he has driven operational excellence, process optimization, and business expansion. A warm welcome to Mr. Sanit Jain. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's over to our moderator, Mr. Varun Vaid, Business Director, Wazir Advisors, our knowledge partner. Over to Mr. Varun Vaid and his team.
So good afternoon, everyone. Once again, we'll kickstart the discussion. So, what we planned to do was discuss on very important, or let's say very interesting thing. We wanted to discuss what is happening in the change which is happening in men's category in the innerwear, because traditionally it has been, or conventionally it has been, that when you mean innovation, you mean something a very different kind of a product or positioning, etc. Women's wear was the thing that came into mind, but times have changed, and so did the category of this menswear is also undergoing a tremendous change. So we have the panel members who have seen the entire evolution of this journey. So we have Parveen. Parveen is with John Players as of now, but he comes with a background of menswear, extensive background in the menswear category. Sulay represents a startup which has made a very different positioning for itself in last 4 years. And then we also have Sanit from Neva. Neva is known for its thermal wear category, launching, getting a kind of an organized many years ago, I would say decades ago, and now they are doing the same thing, trying to do something very innovative in the men's innerwear. So I'd like to start with Sanit. So Sanit, maybe you could talk about a little history of how you ventured into this men's innerwear, how this transformation has been there since you joined the business, started looking into it. Could you please share that? What were the thoughts that made into this segment, innerwear, men's innerwear? Because traditionally, it's not something that a lot of competition which is there. There are very large incumbent brands. So, what was the differentiating factor, and what was the thing that came into mind? And I think the same question I'll come to you also when you launched Bummer. So, what was the thing that made you get into this kind of a competitive segment?
Yeah, thank you very much. So I will say Neva brand has, evolved due to innovation of thermals only. Yeah, this is fine. So Neva brand has evolved due to the innovation part only. So we started with the very, innovative product which is thermals. So we have the widest range of thermals in the industry. Thermal has been the core for us. So we were very much there in the men's underwear category, innerwear category, 25 years ago as well. So we were at that particular time we were doing a lot of innovative products. People, if you go to a Delhi retailer, even then they remember the names. So this is the kind of power of innovative product that you give to the industry. Post that we focused more on the activewear part, and we continued with the thermal wear. And from last 4-5 years, we have again started our journey of men's innerwear. So where not only cotton, we are also doing modal, bamboo, then polyamide, nylon and silk, and all those varieties we are doing it. So even in this INTIMASIA, we have launched a bamboo vest, which is a one of a kind in the industry, which is a rib bamboo product, and it has a lot of lycra flexibility in that. So we are also giving few samples to all the retailers. So when I'm saying innovation, so men's innerwear category has been left out due to a lot of reasons. So a lot of ranges are available for women wear, but for men's comfort wear, I don't think so. We have done much. We are focusing on the comfortable part of the all journey, the comfort part, which is the core of any innerwear. So we are working to have the concept in mind. We are working on the innovation,
Right.
and we are bringing a lot of things to the table.
Right, sure. Sulay, would you like to add here on your journey?
Sure. So I think for us, the starting point was very different. In our 5-year journey, we've not even made a white underwear. Our funda is very simple. That most of men's innerwear has primarily appealed to age groups of different, I mean, all the way from the young generation to all the way up to 50s and 60s or even more. Our philosophy was very simple. How do we build a brand which is dedicated for the young generation of India today, which has a sense of fashion, but it's also very functional in nature. So we do everything in modal so far, at least. We'll be launching more products as we go along. But the idea continues remaining simple, that how do we build an experience for, say, men's women innerwear, but also women's innerwear on the backbone of it. So quite naturally, every single product that we build today is very highly designed, very illustrative in nature, very graphical in nature. It appeals to anywhere from your early teens all the way up to, say, your late 20s sort of a consumer, and primarily sold digital, because that's where that consumer has also gone into, whether it's quick commerce or Amazon or our own website and so on and so forth. So yeah.
Right. And Parveen, is it audible? Okay. And Parveen, if I may ask you that, what are the new different, let's say, what's the difference that you are making as John players, or let's say as a part of Reliance brands? Is there anything that new that you are trying as well in the menswear category?
Yes. You see, the men's innerwear part is a very small part, because we have only 5 size, and all the brands use same color: black, navy, white, red, and there is no innovation involved in the men's innerwear category. So we try to do give some newness in men's innerwear.
Okay.
Like we are in the almost first in the category, we are launching bonded underwear, which is a very comfortable, seamless product. I think we are launching this category in last year. और इससे पहले इस इंडस्ट्री में किसी ने भी बॉन्डेड इस तरह से ऑर्गेनाइज वे में नहीं बेचा हुआ था. और अगर आप बोलें कि मेंस इनरवेयर में वी आर द फर्स्ट कंपनी रिलायंस जिसने ऑलमोस्ट 17 लाइसेंसी प्रोडक्ट के साथ प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च किया अपना, जिसमें इनोवेशन था, डिज़ाइनिंग के साथ बहुत अच्छा प्ले किया हुआ था.
Okay.
क्वालिटी को हमने जिसे कहते हैं ना 0% कॉम्प्रोमाइज़. मोस्टली मेंस इनरवेयर 95-5 कॉम्पोजिशन में बनते हैं, 95% कॉटन एंड 5% इलास्टन. हमने 93% कॉटन किया और 7% इलास्टन किया, जिससे बेटर फिट हुआ. प्राइसिंग बिकॉज रिलायंस डे वन से नोन है वैल्यू फॉर मनी. हमने प्राइसिंग ऐसी दी कि इनोवेशन ऐसा हुआ कि हमारा फर्स्ट ईयर है अभी इंडस्ट्री में. वी आर अचीविंग ऑलमोस्ट 80 करोड़ बिजनेस दिस ईयर.
Okay.
दिस अ वेरी बिग नंबर. और अप्रॉक्सीमेटली एवरी अल्टरनेट सेकंड वी आर सेलिंग आर सिंगल पीस.
Right. So all three of you talked about innovation. I agree, and that's what should be the way ahead. But one thing very important is in the Indian context is that we are a price-sensitive country, right? So as a consumer, definitely, if you have to shelve, like for example, you're saying instead of 95 to 5, you have gone to 93.7. To be honest, it's not a great breakthrough innovation. The price should also not ideally change. It might be just a tweaking here and I would say this is a product engineering rather than a kind of a breakthrough innovation. But the main context is that are consumers really willing to shell out that extra money for innovative product? Like you said that you're doing ATCR business in the very first year, right? First of all, are your products really innovative to command that kind of a premium? And if yes, do you find a lot of takers? And this is a question for all three of you. You're talking about bamboo, right? You're talking about very graphic designer products for the category which is young. But is the consumer really willing to shell out extra money for these kind of products?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So basically before 2020 आप देखेंगे कस्टमर का जो मेंस इनरवेयर में अगर जो रूल कर रहे थे ब्रांड्स, उनके प्राइस पॉइंट 249 से स्टार्ट होकर अप टू 399 499 के बीच में ऑलमोस्ट एंड हो जाता था. हमने जो अभी इनोवेशन किया है, अगर वैल्यू फॉर मनी की जैसे आपने बोला कि 93 और 7 में हार्डली डिफरेंस होता है, बट उसके अंदर जो कस्टमर बाय कर रहा है उसको फील करते ही डिफरेंस दिख जाता है. उसमें शीन बहुत बढ़ जाती है प्रोडक्ट की, और उस शीन के अंदर अगर कस्टमर को 50 रुपीज़ एक्स्ट्रा देने हैं. मेरा इसमें मेजरली जो मेरा अभी तक इन्वॉल्वमेंट और जो मैं सी कर रहा हूँ, मार्केट को देख रहा हूँ, उसमें एक चीज़ बड़ी क्लियर देखी. मेंस इनरवेयर में अभी जो मेंस हैं वो अपना अंडरवेयर में इन्वेस्टमेंट करने लगे हैं. आज से पहले 500 रुपये का अंडरवेयर बेचना मुश्किल था. मैं जॉन प्लेयर के अंदर, जब मैं बोल रहा हूँ मासिस के अंदर हमने लॉन्च किया है, मेरे पास 699 का सिंगल पीस भी है जो मैंने बॉन्डेड बोला. और मतलब दैट स्टाइल इज़ वन ऑफ द बेस्ट सेलिंग इन आवर कलेक्शन. 700 रुपये का अंडरवेयर बेचना आज की डेट में बहुत ईजी हो गया है. कस्टमर प्रोडक्ट चाहता है, कस्टमर डिज़ाइन चाहता है, इनोवेशन चाहता है, और वो उसके लिए पे कर रहा है. सो अब आप देख रहे होंगे जो भी इंडस्ट्री में नए ब्रांड्स आ रहे हैं वो प्राइस सेंसिटिव नहीं है, वो क्वालिटी सेंसिटिव एंड डिज़ाइन सेंसिटिव ज़्यादा हैं. सो मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है.
Yeah, what would you like to say, Sanit?
Yeah, so I partially agree with him, but I still see it's a journey. Reason is the consumer education is very important. So what was happening earlier? Let's say a wife or a lady will go to a nearby hosiery store and buy a undergarment for her husband as well as the kids. So there was no, the variety was not shown to the lady. And now we are seeing those old hosiery stores being converted into hosiery MBOs. So where there is a complete display, there is little bit of education which is going to the end consumer. And for that context, even the social digital marketing that is helping, that is educating. For example, modal range was in because couple of brands they pitched in and did a lot of social media marketing, and people are aware of modal. So now people have understood the modal concept, and many of us are shifted from cotton to modal. So similarly, I think it's a journey. So one price point we have already touched. Let's say he was mentioning, let's say 252, we have reached to 350, 400. Okay. But I think 400 to 600 is still a journey, and it will be completed with majorly the educating the consumer.
Yeah, I agree with Sanit as well. So I think for us, we started off with where our price point starts at 500 for a single piece and goes up to 650 rupees for a regular modal innerwear, right? So for us, it's always been an uphill battle, but because it's also primarily digitally driven brand, your ASP never really is what you show your consumer as an MRP, right? So typically you are down by about 20%, 15%, 30% during peak seasons. Average blended through a year, you are always discounted by about 15 to 20% roughly, right? At that price point, I think it makes sense, and I think the mass market to the mass premium market, which is, say, all the way starting from about 150 rupees and going all the way up to about, say, 200 odd rupees or 250 odd rupees, and then the next segment between 250 and 500 odd. I think these are two segments which really need a lot of work to be done in terms of showcasing, educating, innovation, newness to the category. Otherwise, you have your typical white, black, blue and grey sort of a category. I think the categories above 800, 900 don't really need education because there is already a ready base. Say your Calvin Kleins of the world or Tommy Hilfiger, there is already a ready base. So there is consumer propensity to pay that kind of money, I believe. But it is never going to. It will continue remaining a niche market in terms of how sizable and scalable that audience can be for those consumers, at least in the near future, right? So the hard work has to be done in the 250, 500 rupee price point, I believe. But I think, as Sanit rightly said, I think that price point gap is closing in very, very shortly. So we've seen, at least.
That's good to hear. One more thing, when you talk about any innovative product or trying to launch a new product, so there's also support required from the ecosystem, right? So the supply chain also plays a very vital role in whatever you want to pitch. So that's one very important thing. So I'd like to understand from you, again, all three of you. So you come from a cluster and you have a background of entire manufacturing, right? You are supported by a vast ecosystem and you are based in a non-traditional cluster and you're doing third-party working house. So what's a different feeling that comes when you're talking about an innovative product being launched in the market? So what kind of challenges that you face and what is something that you have been able to solve and something that you're really looking that should be solved eventually?
So we keep on partnering with some of the partners. For example, we partnered with the Reliance 5 years back. We came up with a Cooltex. They launched a Cooltex yarn, and we have launched a Cooltex fabric in the market. Unfortunately, it was a COVID time, so the range could not picked up, but people remember the range even now. We are also doing some work with Aditya Birla as well. So from that angle, we have a support. We definitely do it, and it's a joint work. I think it starts from fiber and it goes till the end consumer when he consumes. So it's a long journey. We as Neva, our chairman, Mr. Nirmal Kumar Jain, so he's fond of innovating different fabrics. So he will always have a lot of developments going on in his room. So the only way we can break this journey is through innovation, and definitely the role of partners is really important, and the ecosystem has to be more supportive from the government side as well, so that the more innovation can go into this industry. Because what I still feel is that the kind of range that women lingerie or they have, we don't have even 5% of it. We don't have much choice to do that.
Correct.
So that way we need more collaborations and more ecosystem.
Right. Parveen?
So basically, for a new innovation or new product, if you have a right channel, like if I am talking about the sales part or the execution of the new innovation side, so we have a very vast base channel of offline. Like we have almost 55 distributors in Pan India, and we have almost approximately 5,000 our group business store like Trends, Smarts and Fashion Factory, and we have a online channel also. So there is any innovation product now, there is a right place to launch first thing. Because whenever I'm launching, or because the designer side or the sales side, there is a very disconnectivity. Salesman कहता है मुझे ये बेचना है, designer कहता है आप ये बेच के दिखाओ आपको. So हमने plan किया कि जब भी हम कोई range launch करेंगे, उसको पहले सबसे छोटा ग्लिम्स जो है हम ऑफलाइन देंगे, बिकॉज ऑफलाइन का एक सबसे बड़ा प्लस पॉइंट ये है, हम जितनी भी इंडस्ट्री में देख रहे हैं अभी ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन का एक डिस्कशन चलता है कि ऑफलाइन आगे जाएगा कि ऑनलाइन आगे जाएगा, बट जब किसी भी इनोवेशन प्रोडक्ट को अगर आप टच एंड फील करके देखते हैं वो आपको राइट फीडबैक मिलेगा. सो हमारा प्लस पॉइंट ये रहा जो मैंने बॉन्डेड रेंज बोली है, इसको मैंने ऑलमोस्ट करीब 1000 स्टोर पे लॉन्च किया और विद इन दी 10 to 12 days वी टेकिंग अ रिपीट ऑफ दी ऑलमोस्ट 30% रिफिलिंग ऑर्डर. सो ये मुझे लगा कि इनोवेशन का जो राइट वे है ना वो ऑफलाइन एंड ऑनलाइन. ऑनलाइन पे हमने क्या किया, उसी प्रोडक्ट को पैक ऑफ 2 बनाया और उसको हमने विद दिस सम एट्रैक्टिव डिस्काउंटिंग के साथ हमने उसको लॉन्च किया. तो मुझे वहाँ पे भी ये दिखा कि एक इनोवेशन है, कस्टमर बॉन्डेड को समझ रहा है, बिकॉज बॉन्डेड सिर्फ पेंटीज में बनता था अभी तक. एक हमें उस पर रिस्पॉन्स मिला. फिर बिकॉज ऑफ वी हैव अ ग्रुप चैनल, वेरी बिग ग्रुप चैनल्स, सो हमने उस पर अपनी टीम का इंसेंटिव प्लान किया. सो दैट्स वाई आई टोल्ड यू कि दैट मेरा एक प्रोडक्ट है जो मैंने इनोवेशन में इंडस्ट्री में लेके आया और उसका ऑलमोस्ट मेरी रेंज का 40% बिजनेस अभी उस एक स्टाइल से आ रहा है.
So what I hear is that basically you have a big machinery lined up with you, you know, so whatever you launch can't go wrong, right? So you have channels, you have support, you have the muscle, whatever muscle you need, everything is there. And this aspect that the innovative products work better in offline, I'm sure Sulay would not agree to it. So maybe Sulay, you could add and share your experience.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges, quite frankly, especially for a brand like ours when we're starting out, because start karna hai, we want to firstly go into a cellulosic fiber. Supply chain was anyways narrow at the time, about 5-6 years back. Usme bhi we want to do multiple different styles, multiple different colors, multiple silhouettes, और उसमें भी बनाने कितने 5000 पीस और उसमें भी 5 साइज है, राइट? आई थिंक दैट सपोर्ट इकोसिस्टम absolutely did not exist, quite frankly. Matlab, we had a very hard time finding people who would say make 50 kgs of fabric in a design for us, would knit that, someone then who will garment that, someone who will even make the elastic, maybe 200, 300, 500 meters in a color, for example, right? So the entire ecosystem, at least when starting out, right, I think it was very difficult, and which is why I see that a lot of competitors who started or brands who started before us or after us and always wanted to start small with very limited capital कि यार 10 लाख रुपए लगा के बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना है, 5 लाख रुपए लगा के बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना है, would typically end up resorting going to say a China, for example, picking what's readily available, maybe paying a premium at the end of the day, right? If you do the same thing here, probably you don't even get the best quality of factories who want to work with you because the volume doesn't excite them, right? So I think those have probably some of the issues that we started off with. However, I think now it's changed because people have started recognizing us as a brand. Our volumes have grown consistent. But to be very honest, I still do not know how it functions for young brands who are still probably trying to start today and want to start with very low MOQs. I hope that it's not the same scenario.
No, I think
Yeah.
it is actually the same scenario because you have figured it out. Eventually, you have figured it out. So most of the startups, I'm sure there would be some people around here who can talk about it. But the MOQs and getting into a very different product with the traditional factories is very difficult. So I think that's the limitation of manufacturing. You come in from a manufacturing background, right? So even if you're working with any of the labels, so the volumes have to be decent. Depending, of course, you are a much larger factory, but then this is something that really need to be solved, maybe through some incubation centers which are there or anything, but it's
I think, I mean, even sampling units, can probably micro factory sampling units. I mean, that kind of innovation, maybe to support, maybe just pure play low MOQs. I'm sure people are ready to pay premiums, but it should come out with a certain quality, certain background. Yeah.
No, but actually, on the other hand, this premium is what is preventing a large scale of penetration as well, right? So if you can reduce 10, 15, 20% of the merchandise cost, so then definitely there is a larger, I would say, citizenship who can people who can actually take it up. So that's certainly which is there. One more thing, I'll just keep the mic with you only.
Sure.
So one thing which is very different for you is on the channel side is also marketing, right? So I would like to understand from you that this is a product which is generally never marketed also. This is one of the products which is never marketed openly, or he said that you'll go to a hosiery shop, whatever he will give, whatever he wants to push, you will buy it. So how did you venture into that? It's a kind of a bold category to market, and then
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, I think for us, the way we realized is that there are multiple facets to marketing, and I think today, in today's times, if you're starting an innerwear brand, probably marketing is your core right to win, right? Otherwise, I mean, there's nothing you can do that legacy brands cannot do. Right, so your core right to win essentially is being very agile, being very fast in terms of how you market, and not conforming to norms, right? Like of how marketing is supposed to be done, right? Like we always had very sexy six-pack ab men and women and so on and so forth. So I think that's traditionally how the category was always marketed. I'm not saying we don't do that, but I'm just saying that there was a macho side to it. There was a sexy side to it in the women's space. I think for us, we've tried to find a very sweet spot in the middle, which is a fun side of it. Here, wear this innerwear when you want to do nothing in life. This is the most chillest product you can actually wear, and that's how we speak to our young consumers as well today, right? Like when you absolutely want to do nothing in life, this is your product, right? When you want to feel macho, sure, like there's something else. When you want to feel sexy, there's something else, right? And I think that fun is a good sweet spot that appeals to the young consumer, and our entire content, imagery, everything has been around it. And I think till a certain extent that has worked for us. I think we'll also have to continue innovating on it as we go along. But yeah, I think that's where our marketing sweet spot really lies, as a brand.
So
Yes, maybe. Yeah, that's fine, no problem.
So on the marketing front, definitely Sulay has been, on the online side and they have done very good job. We are primarily on the other side. We are primarily offline. So offline, you have to reach to a retailer and then you have to reach to a consumer for the feedback. Sometimes it's really difficult for us to even get the feedback from a consumer. So we have started with various initiatives like giving a free sample to a consumer. You wear it, try it, and give a feedback. So you're also doing it here. So that is one way of reaching out to that aspect. But definitely what I understand is this will take time because a lot of things will come in, and let's say what range and what fits in this segment, because definitely one thing is changing. People are going away from the cotton range, that is for sure, because whosoever is trying the modal or bamboo range, I've seen a lot of people getting shifted to it, especially the young generation. So they have really shifted. So I see a lot of changes coming in.
So in the same manner, we are giving our range two name. In online, we have call it Bye Bye Basic and 10-hour collection. So Bye Bye Basic is, you see the entire, I earlier already told कि जितनी भी आप इंडस्ट्री में देखेंगे मेजर 5 कलर हैं जो चलते हैं, और जो भी आप वर्क कर सकते हैं वो इलास्टिक के कर सकते हैं. हमने अपनी कलेक्शन को इतना हाईलाइट किया ऑनलाइन पे कि बेसिक जो कलेक्शन है उसको आप बाय बाय कर दीजिए. जो हमारी कलेक्शन है जिसको हमने लाइसेंसी बोला आपको, वो बिल्कुल बेसिक से अलग है, बट वो बेसिक के साथ मैच करती हुई रेंज है जिसमें 95.5 का कॉम्पोजिशन रहेगा. और एक हमने रखा 10-hour कलेक्शन, इट्स अ टुवर्ड द कंफर्ट. सो वो 10 आवर्स इसलिए बोला कि यंग क्राउड जो है उसका आज की डेट में मूवमेंट, जो जॉब कर रहे हैं, जो यंग क्राउड है, उनको चाहिए कंफर्ट ज़्यादा, प्लस वो उसी को पे करने के लिए रेडी है. सो हमने ऑनलाइन में ये हाईलाइट किया, और हमने ऑफलाइन में अपनी पैकेजिंग को हमने इतना इनोवेटिव बनाया कि अभी इंडस्ट्री में आई थिंक जैसे आपने बोला कि कम अगर MOQ हो तो कॉस्टिंग के अंदर 10 से 15% का डिफरेंस आता ही आता है. हमारी पैकेजिंग की कॉस्ट ऑलमोस्ट 50 रुपीज़ है. जो हमने इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट बनाया उसके अंदर मैग्नेटिक बॉक्स बनाया हमने, जो कि ऑफलाइन को एक फील देता है प्रीमियम होने का, और उसके बाद उसके अंदर हमने क्या इनोवेटिव किया है. तो आई थिंक इंडस्ट्री में अभी तक अंडरवेयर के रेट 150, 49, 200 तक चल रहे हैं. हमने अपनी पैकेजिंग का रेट भी 50 रुपये तक का बनाया हुआ है.
Good. So very interesting, tips that you have shared. I'm sure there are many people who can really learn from it. Okay. So before I close the panel, is there any question the audience might have for any of the speakers? So we have very experienced panel, and I'm sure you can learn one thing or two from them. Any question or any comments or observation also are more than welcome. Okay. So yeah, okay, thank you. So I'd like to thank all the panelists here. It has been really, very interesting discussion. So one thing is for sure that we are past that era where innerwear already all innovation in innerwear meant only about women's. It is not the case anymore. And in last 4 years, I think thanks to brand like yours, your initiative and your initiative, so we are seeing a change. But as you said, it's a journey. Definitely, maybe in next couple of years, we'll be in a situation where this kind of discussion might be to a different level altogether, right? So people have already started accepting, and the cost would eventually come down, whether it is the fiber cost we are talking about or the manufacturing cost we are talking about, the distribution and sales marketing cost of it. So the addressable market for you increases. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody who is present here and the panelists specifically for taking out time and joining us here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we put our hands together for the entire panel? Could we have you step up for a photograph?